Hi, everybody. Cancer update time. So I have some good news and some bad news. I've been kind of sitting with this for a week and just processing what there is to process, but I'll try and keep this short and sweet. I've been off chemo since mid-November. I decided to take a treatment break. Mentally, I was just like exhausted. Physically, I was depleted. I couldn't do it anymore. And the scans were looking decent, and I felt comfortable taking a break. Yeah. And then early December, I started having some back pain, which is concerning because I was off treatment, and where the cancer is located is in my back. So I was put in for a rush CT scan on Christmas Eve. I got those results the beginning of January, and they looked pretty good. Like, there wasn't anything super concerning about them. But the CT is not how I've been measuring the cancer. The PET scan is, which shows like the metabolic activity basically of the cancer and what lights up and doesn't light up. So it was good, but it wasn't really indicative of something I could compare to. So I was waiting for my PET scan. I had my PET scan on January 14th, and I got the results last week, and I just had to sit with them. I really went through like every space of being devastated and happy at the same time. So let me tell you the good news first. So what the PET and the CT and all of this showed, I talked to the surgeon last Monday. He called me and he compared like my colonoscopies, the beginning to the end with all the scans. And he said, your tumor is 99% gone in your colon. Everything you've done is gone. And this in itself should be a miracle. Like, it was a pretty big tumor. I was really aggressive with the treatment and everything else I've done outside of that to support it. And so I was like thrilled. Like Monday I was thrilled. But he said, you need to wait to talk to the oncologist because I can't give you the oncology picture. I can only tell you like surgically, you're not eligible for surgery because there's nothing to remove. So that was great. Tuesday, I had the oncology appointment and went in extremely hopeful based on the conversation I had the previous day, that like, look, everything I'm doing is working. Everything that I've been doing holistically is working. Everything in terms of changing my diet is working, right? And so I went in and fully with that expectation that I was just going to stay off chemo. And my oncologist is on maternity leave, which is great for her, but unfortunate for me because I've developed this relationship and she knows me. So I'm seeing somebody who doesn't know me. And then she has her resident there first, and they just say, you need to go back on treatment. And I just like completely, like, it was like being hit by a car. I was like, not, I didn't expect it based on the conversation I'd had the previous day. And I was just like, all I can think is like, I only just started feeling normal after going through chemo for 6 months. And like, what that took away from me in terms of my quality of life was like, I couldn't be a parent. I couldn't do many things. I tried to embrace the moments that were good, but ultimately, it was like, I just said to her, I said like, I'd honestly rather just die than do that. And I was being dramatic, but that was really how I felt. Like, I can't. And for me, it's really hard because I'm not somebody who declines medical advice. So to say, I'm not going to do what you're telling me to do was really challenging for me. But I said, like, I can't. And she said, look, statistically, even though you're doing well, statistically, it's what studies show is that if you go off chemo for a long period of time, you're more likely to become resistant sooner rather than later. And it won't work when you go back on it. And so she said, you might be different, but that's what the statistics show, and that's, So the recommendation I have to make is that you go back on chemo. And I just was like really clear. I checked, like, apart from being in shock in that, it was like, I was really clear I can't do it right now. Maybe it's the path in the future. I can't. But I left, like, I just was like, I can't make a decision right now because I'm too emotional and too upset. So I've been sitting with this for a week. And the decision was either I go back on chemo or I continue to do nothing. Like, nothing in terms of their protocol. I'm still doing what I'm doing, holistically. Or I go do the Mexico treatment now. But I said, I can't make this decision from fear or from being upset. I need to be really level-headed. So she's just like, if you want the treatment, then call me and we'll book the treatment. If not, we'll touch base in March, basically. So that's where we left it last week. And I've been through very many spaces of like just being hit with the reality of what it is to live with this for the rest of my life. And that at the end of the day, it might shorten my life by not taking the treatment. I don't know. Who knows? But I just know that I can't live like I'm not living. I'm just like completely depleted and exhausted. I can't even walk around the block. And only within the last month have I started to be able to do that regularly without being so depleted. So the last couple of days, I got myself back to a better place, and I'm just like, I need to gather all the information so before I can make a decision. And so at this point, where I'm leaning is like taking this Mexico treatment now, and taking the risk. Like, it's a big risk. It might not work. I might spend all that money and it won't work. That's a risk. I don't think it will hurt me, but it might not work, or it might. But what I really came to is like, this is the time to trust myself completely, because at the end of the day, I own all the decisions and the impact of those decisions. So I did have a phone call with the Mexican hospital today, and I felt really good about it. So 99% right now, that's the route I'm taking, and I'll let you know once I know 100%. Still like celebrating the win of having the tumor be gone, and still sitting with the reality and the heaviness of the fact that I'll still live with metastasized cancer in my body forever. And there's like, where there's a stand is that we can get that into remission so that I can live a normal, at least a normal life, and be a parent to my kids. So yeah, if you got this far in the video, thank you. And thank you to everybody who's like donated to my GoFundMe and the fundraising we've did over the last few months. Because without you, I wouldn't be able to afford this treatment. And just thank you to everybody who's commented or shared or reached out or whatever, followed me on this journey. So more to come.